And welcome in on a Friday, a ridiculous Kenny Cott Floral Friday, where we all look like idiots, but we're doing it together, like some kind of screwed up vacation Voltron. All right, we are going to jump right in, Ricardo. Are you ready?
I am, my friend.
Because I'm excited. We do have the Pistons presser. Very excited to hear that later on. Probably closer to 4 o'clock than 3:30. No problem. We will lead you right into it. We're going to hear from Mr. Gore, as Dwayne Casey said. And Trajan Langdon, we find out if he's an actual human and not a Chat GPT character. This is exciting. But we got to start with something else. Steve Yzerman.
Oh, yeah.
Have to. Comments galore today.
Yeah, I guess today was a day for everybody in Detroit to air their grievances and talk to the people.
We know he ain't talking. So I want to go down the list because here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
You and I think, are going to be on one side of this. Kenny's going to be on another. And this is the equivalent of I've brought 2 folding chairs. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put the 2 chairs in the lawn and you and I are going to sit in them. And we're going to watch the world burn from a good, safe distance because I have a feeling Red Wing fans are going to get after each other. So Steve Yzerman had a lot to say. I can play the audio, I can read the script, and then I'm going to give you what my Google Translator says. So, David, from the top, how do you want to do this? Is there an order you want to go in?
Let's talk about the number 15th pick. I have some audio here for you.
Start with the upcoming NHL draft at the Sphere. Wings picking 15th. I've said to you guys I would never use the pick. I have no need to draft another teenager and see you in 5 years. I would hawk the pick to get better. Okay, right. Here's what Yzerman had to say. Okay, so I'm reserving all comment. That's on the 15th pick. Mm-hmm. David, what do you have on the goaltending front? I mean, Kenny wants a goalie. Your mom wants a goalie. Detroit wants a goalie. Okay, then this is why I asked. I didn't want to ambush you. Let me give you what was said. I'll read it to you. Regarding the team. Oh, boy. Hold on. Guys, I do apologize. I have to scroll through 7 million things Rieger sent me. Yzerman on the goalie situation. It indicates that the team wants a number 3 in the event of an injury to Husso or Lyon. Doesn't necessarily think it means carrying 3 in the NHL, noting complications of practices, etc. Yeah. Plan is for Kosa to be an even bigger role at GR, Grand Rapids, next season. Okay, so right off the rip, just sounds like you're going to war with Husso and Lyon.
Yeah, said he does not envision 3 goalies on the roster.
Okay, but wait, there's more. So we have the viewpoint on the draft pick. We have the addressing of the goalie situation. David, do we have Patrick Kane on it?
Yes, we do.
So where does it stand with Patrick Kane? David. Okay, now, we'll keep in touch is basically what that is. So I'll offer you how my Google Translator works, and then we're going to go to our very own Pierre LeBrun, Kenny Cott. And just get a sense, and I want to see where people are, because all I can do is take Yzerman right here, right now. I can't predict the future. I can only go by what he says. Is he lying? Is he telling the truth? Well, I hope he's lying. Because if he's not, here's what my Google Translator says. We're not going to get a goalie. I haven't gotten either Sider or Raymond signed yet. I haven't secured Patrick Kane, and he's going to the wilderness into free agency. And basically, if he doesn't get any good offers, maybe I got a shot. And
you're right.
The number 15 pick, I don't see any blockbuster moves with that. So we'll take another player you might see in 2028.
Yeah, he said, as far as he said he didn't think at this point he could have been being coy, but he didn't expect anything getting done before July 1st at this point with either Raymond or Sider.
Okay, so that's how I look at things. Doesn't mean make it right. And he could be lying through his teeth. But if he's not, I really don't see the point in what we're doing here. But, Kenny, I want your feedback. You are not a bot. You're a well-reasoned man. You do have a soft spot for Yzerman, who doesn't. But I wanted your takeaways from this. You seemed very arrogant when I walked in the door today. Oh, it's going to be overreaction theater. People's pets' heads are falling off. No. No.
No,
Now that's an overreaction. What is you hate that drop. What is your takeaway from all of Yzerman's comments today?
So I think your Chat GPT device may be a little broken or malfunctioning. Oftentimes when he speaks, he says nothing. That's what I kind of viewed this as. Primarily, I know David, he's going to make me mad today, and that's fine. The way I look at it is with the goaltending stuff, I view that as an outright lie. With the Seider and Raymond thing, that's not atypical for stars not to be signed by the first of the next month. That's not atypical. So I'm not worried about
Can we go back? Why is the goaltending stuff a lie?
Because I think he will do his due diligence. And by the way, if you want confirmation that the man openly lies to you, he has done it in the past. I think a month before he brought in DeBrincat, he said, "We're not going to make a move like that." And then he went and made a move like that. He made that exact move. This isn't something that he doesn't do. He's not above lying right to your face.
Okay.
And I think that's more of a non-factor than you do.
So the goalie thing, you don't think this is, hey, we're just going to wait for Kosa 2026?
I think there's some of that in there for sure. But if you look at it, I think there's a couple of goaltending, not free agents, but pending free agents that you could trade for. There's like Linus Hallmark, for example. I don't think Boston wants to carry two great goalies.
Swayman's a stud.
They're going to hang on to him. But I think he also said later on in that presser that I'm going to look through trade options. I'm going to look through free agency. He didn't just say, I'm giving up. I'm throwing my hands in the air and giving up.
No, he didn't
it
say
didn't
that.
sound like he was giving up. It just sounded as if, you know what, I'm okay with what I have right now. I think there's a future here. Maybe not right now, but there's a future.
I also think that if you were to outright say, yeah, we're hunting the trade markets and we're desperate and all this stuff, all of his leverage would have been gone in this market. He wants to sound like, we might be fine. We'll do what we have to do. Yeah, he was very ho-hum, just like he always is with this stuff. And he's lying to your face half the time. And we've seen him lie to your face half the time.
Let me give you another comment. And then I want your thoughts, Kenny. Yzerman acknowledging expectations will be higher next year, though he says of free agency, we're trying to build a team that's not just going to make the playoffs one year and maybe not the next. They're going to try to, quote, be selective. Can I ask just a question? Aren't you tired of hearing that, whether it's the Tigers or the Red Wings, the quote, we're building something for long-term success when the CBAs of these sports don't really allow for that?
I am tired of hearing that, but also I wish there was something that he would have said. I wish he would have said, not making the playoffs last year was a failure.
Yes.
I was disappointed by not making the playoffs last year.
Unacceptable.
If he would have come out and said anything to that effect, I don't think we're talking about any of this. And I just think half of it was lies and half of it was the ho-hum nature of Steve Yzerman.
Can you meet me in the middle before David's head explodes? Meet me in the middle. If these aren't lies and Kane's walking out the door, they're just going to sit there and take somebody at 15 that we won't see for 4 years. They're not going to get a goalie, and we're in the eternal wait for Kosa. And if it's not him, wait for Augustine. Kenny, would you at least agree with me? If he's not lying, that doesn't work.
If your Chat GPT is correct, Mike, I hate this offseason, and I'm very upset with him. All right?
If he's not lying.
If all of this turns out to be exactly what you're describing, I would call this offseason an absolute failure.
Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. Okay. People, Hockey Elite, we can put the bat signal out there. It probably doesn't work in daylight hours, but work with me. 248-539-9797. Is Yzerman lying? What is your takeaway from the comments? If he's not lying, are you as disturbed as we would be if that's how the offseason actually plays out? Because I will tell you the part that Kenny and I, Rico, are in total agreement on. Mm-hmm. Steve Yzerman has the cachet to go out. You don't need to be tepid about it. Last year, that collapse, totally unacceptable. Not making the playoffs was unacceptable. Yeah. And we must make the playoffs this season. Right. Period. Like that, I would like to hear that.
Well, does this qualify for something in that area? We're not trying to build a team that's just going to make the playoffs one year and maybe not the next year. They're trying to be selective in free agency and addressing needs.
That's a part of the long-term success thing that both the Tigers and Red Wings have used. It's almost like they went to Kinko's and picked up like corporate business cards, and it says that.
Maybe they walk past each other in the headquarters.
Probably. 248-539-9797. What do you make of the Yzerman kickoff to the offseason comments? And if there was one of those that he's not lying about that bothers you the most, what is it? Is it running it back with Husso and Lyon? Is it not being aggressive with the number 15 pick? Is it Kane walking out the door? What is it? By the way, the salary cap did go up and by a little bit more than expected. That should help the Wings, who are already in a decent cap situation, even though they have to pay their two young, burgeoning stars. Mm-hmm. I would just like to know, Kenny, of those, if he's not lying, which one bothers you the most?
The goaltending, probably. I think the 15th pick, the value of that might not be as high as you might hope it to be, but goaltending is like gold in this league right now. And if he's not at least, if I don't see a report this offseason that, hey, he was interested in X goalie or Y goalie or Laurent Brossoit like I wanted or Linus Ullmark like you might want, if I don't get that report, I'm pissed.
Well, here's the other thing. The idea of having a great young goalie is a wonderful idea, but the bust rate of young goalies is immense. And second of all, it's turned into a two-goaltender league. The really good teams have two goalies. Mm-hmm. This idea of having Ullmark and Kosa at one point and having their, having the ships pass in the night, that's not a bad thing. Because I find it very hard to believe that Kosa will just come up and start 70 games. It's really hard. Mm-hmm. And having two goalies allows you options. Mm-hmm. Here, look what the Islanders have done the last couple of years. I mean, Kenny, I'm not trying to be provocative. I'm saying it's a real life example of my team is kind of average, but having options at goalie has really helped them make runs to the Eastern Conference Finals, be within a period of the Stanley Cup Final. It helped them.
And you're proving my point. That's exactly why I say out of all the options on the table, that's the one that would piss me off the most.
Because ironically, just like their bunkmate, the Tigers, 5 is the magical number. When they scored more than 5 goals, they would win the game.
It's like the Tigers not getting a bat. It's exactly the same thing.
Okay. Tigers, David, we're going to get to you in a moment because you were seething that entire segment. We'll get to you. Hockey Elite if you want it. 248-539-9797. We're a little over an hour away from the Pistons. You'll get Tom Gores. You will get Trajan Langdon. I'm very interested to see. Listen, if you will, what the hell we are offered from an organization that, whoa boy.
Think we'll get a head coach announcement?